Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is your host Thomas Tyree from On the Hot Podcast. Today, this will be episode 169 for you guys today. Of course, this episode is going to be coming out on all four of our platforms: our Instagram account, our Facebook account, our YouTube account, and our Apple Podcast account. So let's go ahead and dive into the first segment of this week's episode. I'll be sharing my thoughts on the latest NFL headlines, the biggest storylines that have transpired in the last few days in the National Football League. So I have a few headlines for you guys. Headline number one, I'm going to start off with number 88 wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys and CeeDee Lamb. I'll be sharing my thoughts on the star wide receiver earning a new massive contract in Dallas. So Cowboys star wide receiver CeeDee Lamb signed a massive 4-year contract extension to remain with the Dallas Cowboys. It's a 4-year, $136 million extension with a $38 million signing bonus. CeeDee Lamb will also make $100 million guaranteed in this deal. This makes CeeDee Lamb the second highest paid wide receiver behind Justin Jefferson per year. So these are my thoughts on CeeDee Lamb's new contract. Round of applause. I'm so glad that this deal got done. CeeDee Lamb deserves this contract. He deserves every penny, every dollar, every million in this new massive deal with the Dallas Cowboys. Over the last few years, CeeDee Lamb has proven that he has been a top 5, top 3 wide receiver in the National Football League. The stats through the last 2 seasons in the National Football League doesn't lie of how elite CeeDee Lamb has been. CeeDee Lamb last year led the league in catches with 135 catches. He finished second in receiving yards with a total of 1,749 receiving yards. He finished third in the league in receiving touchdowns with 12 receiving touchdowns last NFL season. And I told you guys this deal was going to be done a few weeks ago. Now, I said Jerry Jones was just out there playing games. He wanted to get the media buzzing about the Dallas Cowboys, a big storyline heading into the season. And Jerry Jones has lost these battles in the past with these star players winning new contracts. Look at what happened with Jerry Jones and Zach Martin. Look at what happened when Jerry Jones gave in to Ezekiel Elliott back in 2019 when he coughed up nearly $100 million to a NFL running back. So I'm glad that all the games, it's over. I'm glad we're back to business. And I'm glad that we will have number 88, CeeDee Lamb, on the field with us week 1 when we travel to Cleveland to play the Cleveland Browns. Now, next storyline, next headline is the quarterback battle that's going on in Pittsburgh between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields taking place in Pittsburgh. Who should start week 1 in my opinion? Now, I will say I do believe it's best for the Steelers to start Russell Wilson. I think he gives them their best chance to succeed at this particular moment. And I would start him week 1 against the Atlanta Falcons. And Russell Wilson is that veteran quarterback that the Pittsburgh Steelers have been looking for. I mean, been through Kenny Pickett. They haven't hit on a quarterback. They haven't had a quarterback in quite some time. A quarterback that be a difference maker like Ben Roethlisberger was. Even though Russell Wilson isn't that same guy that he once was with the Seattle Seahawks, he gives them their best chance to win as long as he doesn't turn over the ball, gets the offense down the field, and puts up points because the Pittsburgh Steelers can stay afloat. They have the defense to keep them in ball games. They have a winning culture and their head coach, Mike Tomlin, who refuses to have a losing season for so many consecutive years in the National Football League. And I think that's enough to keep them afloat in the AFC North right now with the loaded division of the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson and company, Cincinnati Bengals or Joe Burrow and company, a Cleveland Browns team that has a lot of talent, and if they could get off to a good start, they could be a threat. So the Steelers, I think they have to start Russell Wilson. But I will say, if the Steelers start off 1-3, 1-4, they're going to quickly pivot to Justin Fields and take it from there. And I think if they do that, Justin Fields can give them a different spark offensively that Russell Wilson cannot. What made Russell Wilson so good in Seattle for all those years was him making plays in the pocket, scrambling when the plays would be destroyed, were breaking down in the offensive line. He's not that same player anymore, obviously. But Justin Fields could be that player because you could have an RPO type of offensive style with Justin Fields, mix in a lot of play actions and make Justin Fields pretty comfortable in that offense. And Arthur Smith, former head coach for the Atlanta Falcons, now offensive coordinator for the Steelers, I think he would adjust this offense to Justin Fields' liking. So, in a similar style to what he did with Ryan Tannehill a few years ago in Tennessee. Adapted the offense around Ryan Tannehill. If Justin Fields were to take over or start in the beginning of the season, I don't see why Arthur Smith wouldn't do the same thing for Justin Fields. But in my opinion, I think it's best for the Steelers to start Russell Wilson in the beginning part of the NFL season. Now, next headline is the New England Patriots, and it's about their new head coach, Jerod Mayo's comments about the quarterback battle taking place in New England. So, in the Patriots' final preseason finale, they played the Washington Commanders, and Jerod Mayo was asked about third overall pick Drake May, and he said the following. Drake May is our second best quarterback on our roster right now. Now, honestly, Jerod Mayo knows deep down inside that it's his best bet to play Drake May and start him this NFL season. And we all know that Jacoby Brissett wasn't brought back to the Patriots to be this veteran quarterback for a long period of time. No, and if anything, he was only there to be a mentor for Drake May. So I don't understand why that we're playing the complicated game. I think Drake May gives the Patriots their best chance to win. Now, I understand that even though it's going to be hard to throw Drake May into the fire, based on the eye contest, Drake May was the better quarterback during preseason. He played better than Jacoby Brissett. And I would start Drake May because he was brought in third overall pick to be the new franchise quarterback through the good and the bad. You moved on from Mac Jones for a reason and brought this guy in with the third overall pick. I understand it's his first year, but let's see what he could do. And last year, yes, at North Carolina, he showed that he could be a good pocket passer. He showed he can make plays with his legs if needed. He's a very athletic guy. He gives the Patriots their best chance to win offensively if he could go down the field, put some points up. And I think an offense with Drake May is you have a better chance of putting up points with Drake May than a veteran quarterback of Jacoby Brissett at this particular point. And I understand the Patriots are not in a position to contend this year. They don't have an offensive line. They don't really have any significant weapons on offense. So I understand they're going to struggle no matter what, and they have one of the toughest schedules in the National Football League. So I think it's best that the Patriots just go ahead, stick it out with Drake May, and let him do what he can do in his rookie season. Now, final headline, thoughts on the Kansas City Chiefs re-signing Juju Smith. Now, I understand why the Kansas City Chiefs did decide to re-sign Juju Smith. He was a reliable offensive weapon 2 seasons ago when the Chiefs won a Super Bowl in 2022-23 NFL season. I'm not really sure what happened to him with the Patriots. Looking at their depth chart, thinking about their depth chart off the top of my head, I don't understand how Juju Smith won't be a difference maker for Jacoby Brissett or Drake May compared to the other guys in the room. But as I digress, he was cut by the Patriots, and now the Chiefs have brought him back in. And the Chiefs wide receiver room is kind of a mystery heading into week 1. I mean, don't get me wrong, as long as they have Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid at offense, they're going to put up points. But at wide receiver, you have, I should say, before I say the wide receiver part, they could lean on Isaiah Pacheco in the running game more this year. But looking at what their wide receiver room, if Rashee Rice is suspended for a good amount of time, Hollywood Brown is expected to miss time. That would leave Xavier Worthy, their first-round wide receiver, to step up quickly in a number 1 wide receiver role. Sky Moore really hasn't developed at the wide receiver position. Kadarius Toney and Justin Ross were cut today as I record this. So I think it is a smart pickup for the Chiefs to get Juju Smith, someone that's familiar with this offense, just in case of Rashee Rice gets suspended and they have some depth to lean on, a guy that has been very dependable for them in the past, somebody that Patrick Mahomes can trust. And I think this is this is a good signing for them moving on in the future. But those are my thoughts on the NFL story, the latest NFL headlines over the last few days in the National Football League.